Hi guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company, and today I thought it might be fun to do one of these folios with the junior legal pads together because it's been a while and I have lost my instructions. So I'm going to redo the instructions with you, if you, hopefully with you all, together. There we go. I got that out. So I'm going to, I have measured this. So I'm using this set on Office Hub. I don't really remember where I got it from. Probably a Walmart or something. But I always like to remeasure it. This says it's 5x7. I'm taking a quick look at it. And let me just take one out. I don't need the whole set, do I? So, Bee Jubilee is coming up this weekend, and I want to go ahead and do a few more bee-related items, or bee items. Okay, so this is, truth be told, it's just over, the bottom of it was over 5 inches. Okay, the top of it is definitely 5 inches. Let me look at the bottom again. The way the paper is cut. Looking at this, the way the paper is cut, to me, this is just over 5 inches. So I'm comparing it. Each one of these blocks is 1 inch. So when I put it dead center, can you see that? Probably not like that. There we go. So when I put it dead center, it looks like it's coming just over on this side. If I turn it around and I do it from the top, look at that. It fits perfectly within the 5 inches. So slightly longer than 5 inches. I got to accommodate this. It should be 7 inches this way. And this is actually, oh, back out again. Sorry. This box is actually the beginning, it's 20 inches. So when we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Okay. I thought I had seen that. That's really interesting. So this actually says that 3 pads are 5x7, right? However, they must mean the paper is 5x7. This pad is actually, the pad is 5 by, it's like 8 1/8. Okay, every time, knowledge is power. So that's going to be important. I'm going to write that in pen so it's easier for everybody to see. Put my pencil down. Okay, so the pad is 5 by 8 1/4. And it's actually a little over 5. So let's say it's 5 1/8. Just to be on the safe side, just to make sure, that we don't miss anything. It's one thing for it to be a little bit bigger, and then you can accommodate that with other things. But, if it's smaller, you're redoing it. Okay. So because the pad of paper, so this is for the mini or junior legal pad folio. I should start down below. What I'm going to do is I want to see if, I don't want to go too big. I keep going off on my tangents. I'm also going to see how wide it is in this direction. That is 1/4 inch. Okay. All right, so that's a lot of information. So I don't want to make this the internal port. I don't want to make the folio too big. I also don't want it to be too small. I don't want it to feel like you can barely get things in there or it's cramped. So I've got to decide. I'm either going to go with 5 1/4. I think 5 1/4 is too close. So if I put it over here, 5 1/4 is going to be right. Oh, it gives you a shocking amount of actual good space. That's right, because this is just a tad. It's not actually a quarter. And then if that would mean we would do 8 1/2. Let me resituate this so I can easily read it. All right. That's my halfway mark. No, that's my halfway mark right there. Oh, no, 8 1/4 would be about right there. Then it'd also be wrapped. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the quarter. If I don't, I can do one that way, and then if I think that it needs more space, the next ones can be, I can do 1/8 of an inch. So we are going to do 5 1/4 by 8 1/4 for the chipboard. And then I need a spine. This is a 1/4 inch. I'm going to do, this will be front and back. This is my chipboard. And then my spine. I will, by the way, end up rewriting this for myself in a more organized manner. But this is, as we're working through, my spine's going to be a 1/2 inch. If you do too much on your spine, actually, I'm gonna change that because I want someone to be able to put a pin in if they want a pin in, in the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and do 3/4 of an inch. I'm not doing a whole inch. A whole inch is going to be much bigger than what I want. A 1/2 inch would be just a little bit bigger than this, but I'm not going to be able to fit anything into it. So I think that I don't know, I'm going back and forth on it. If I do a 1/2 inch, that you can't see that. Okay. That's about the space that you get on the inside, which means that you're not going to have a whole lot of space to do anything. If I do the 3/4 of an inch, once this, I'm doing 3/4. I don't want to make it too tight. I want people to be able to put things in here, and I'm going to be including a pocket. So now I've got my first cuts. Let me grab my lovely chopper. This should be 12 by 12. So I should be able to get everything I need out of this piece. Let's hope. Sometimes the corners get a little bit bent up. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so my first cut, I'm going to go ahead and do my 5 1/4 inch. No, I'm not. I'm going to do my 8 inch. My first cut, I'm going to do my 8 1/4. Ooh, this gets tight. 8 1/4 is approximately right there. And okay, those are my two good corners. I'm going to chop off this side that has, the corners aren't fabulous. Okay, so right now I'm doing the 8 1/4, and then I'll do my 5 inches, and I'll do my other. You gotta hold it tight. Okay. Now, 5 1/4, right? That's what we decided on. front and back. Oh boy. It can be a bit tough to cut. Now this should be a nice straight piece. And I want 3/4 of an inch. Can I get it from that? I may have to, I'm going to go ahead and measure off my 3/4 of an inch just so I know where my marking point is. So I'm working down here, if you can see that. So that's my 3/4. And we'll go back to this guy. I'm going to move him over as far as I can so that I get him. I get my piece right there. This is a little bit, I got to be careful here because my guard is not in place. And so I really do not want to chop off my finger. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'd rather have my guard. I'd rather have my guard. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to take another look. I actually am not showing you all. I didn't do a full frontal version today like I normally do when I introduce my videos because the craft room is in pieces right now. We've done a lot of movement. I've actually gotten rid of a bunch of furniture, which makes my husband happy. Okay, that looks pretty good. It should be sort of an exact fit. I don't want this to be too big. I want it to fit this without going over the top. And I'm going to make it so that you can put new ones in. So, easy peasy. This is like most of what we've done before. Well, sort of. All right. So with this one, I'm going to do one of the flat spines, which means, let's see. This is going to be a B1, so I'm backing it up in black. Okay. And I'm going to need 2 sheets. No, I'm not. You want to know why I'm not going to need 2 sheets? Maybe. Let's see. See if I have a long enough black piece here. Can I use mullet? Here we go. I have all of these scraps from working on my other albums. And that one, this one's going to be wrapped independently. I'm going to do this one first. And then I think I'll probably still need an extra sheet of my black, but I'll be able to have a big offcut. So I don't need anything. This one will be fine. I think that's the smallest piece that I have that's going to work. That's what I want. It's kind of like that least common denominator, or least common, something like that. All right. There is a lot of extra material here, so to speak. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. This is 3/4 of an inch. It will end up over, I want 1/2 inch on either side. So that's going to be 1 and, yeah, just 1/2 inch on either side. I've got to think. I mean, I guess I could leave all that, just not this whole thing. Let's do it that way. And I will explain. I will. So I definitely need space on these sides. I will be covering this. This is going to be how it gets anchored. The way this is attached to the other pieces. So I want my anchors pieces to be long enough that they really hold. If it's too skinny, it's not going to hold really well. So this piece is honestly about perfect. So this piece is, there's not a whole inch on either side. That's close enough. 2.5 inches. Okay. So covering, that was our chipboard, covering chipboard, spine, 2.5 by, oh no, not, yeah, 2.5 by, let's do a little measuring. This one I'm not going to keep as long. I don't want that huge. It's just too much. So we're going to go, just to make it even a little bit, 9.5 inches. I could do 9.25 and give it the, you know, it'll be close enough. I'm not worried about that. 9.5 is just an easy number. Okay. So let's cut this down real quick to, I'm going to do it that way. Nine and a half. Oops. All I did was make a little mark. Sometimes that's easier. Depending on what we're measuring. I will say we've got part of this the room set up. Not all of it by far, but we've got part of it set up and I'm loving it. Oh my word, am I just loving it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use some score tape here. Is this my actual score tape? This might not be. I have gotten, I'll use real score tape, and I like using real score tape, but the this is one I think I got from Temu. And the ones from Temu, they're not bad. They're really not. All right, so I'm just gonna, that is one of my favorite things. So that's one of my things that I normally do. I'm gonna go, I just burnish it. I've lost all my tools, guys. That's what, move something around and everything's gone. I just had it yesterday. Well, I can just see that today's going to be super duper fun. What's funny is I have extras of all my tools and I still can't find them. Because I can't find, it's not anybody's fault but my own. I can't find them because I have a tendency to set them down and walk away. It's just not a good thing. All right. Well, what I was looking for was my nice little sharp thing, my little weeder. That's what I normally use to get this off. It's my favorite tool. There we go. But today my fingernail will have to do. Now, I am one of those nervous Nellies who always feels like I need to make sure that I add a little bit of glue here. So one of my very first albums was very, it was just had a lot going on in it. And I didn't realize how much weight I had put on it. But, whoa doggy, I had put some weight on those pages, on my signatures. And that did not work in my favor. Let's just say that. It was not good. So it started to This one won't do that. But the spine started to pull away. And you do not want your spine pulling away. All right. So now I am just going to continue with my little burnishing here. One side and then two sides. That's my beginning. Now I'm not going to fold this one over. I am running a line down. It's really just all I'm doing. I don't want this one to fold all the way over. So all that does, can you see that? It's hard for me to tell what's really visible. We've really played with the lights in here and we've got more coming. But it's really kind of cool because now it looks, you've got that interesting little bump look going on. So next thing we need to do is very carefully, I'm going to cut in not much sliver right there. And then again, I'm really just doing slivers here, guys. I don't want it to go straight down, but I don't want it to go too far over either. I know. Does that make any sense? That one is... So I'm just cutting off, and I've got my little burnish lines that are helping me. And honestly, guys, if you go a little bit, if you feel it, don't, how do I put this? Don't worry that you're going too far over or, oh no, it's messed up because I did this a little too far in. There's plenty of stuff that's going to be covering that up. So these are just going to go down. I mean, you can see that I've got a little bit showing here. So, and I might have a little bit too much showing there, especially at the top, because I want my top, I'm probably going to leave a little bit at the top. So, here's what you can do. Let's start by just gluing this down. I'm not worried about this one being taped. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces down. If my glue will come out, there we go. It's one. And there's two. There will be paper over the top of this, but I did come in too far. You got to be, it's really just supposed to be a sliver. So how am I going to fix that? Super duper easy. I'm going to take one of these guys and I'm just going to attach it really close to the top. And then you can't see that at all. So, and next time I'll be even more careful. So, there you go. I do want to make sure that it's going to stay down. I don't need it to be doing too much duty here. And from the top of the, let's see, that's too much. I trim that down a little bit. You can actually see that piece. I'm going to move that down a little bit. So we're going to do it right there. Right there. All I care about is that I'm going to have that little bit covered. Perfect. so that when I lay my paper down, whatever goes on top, I'm not going to see any of the chipboard. Ooh, it's moving around on me. The pros and cons. There we go. Not going to see any of that chipboard. I'm going to go one more time over this. I'm also going to do this. So if I had anything even, see how I have a little bit poking out there just from making those perfect. Okay, that piece is ready. This is going to allow, I don't know if I said that. I thought I said it, but maybe I didn't. What this is going to do is it's going to allow my pieces to lay flat. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and make sure. Now this one's going to be a little easier. I'm giving myself a whole inch. Got to get that guy in the corner. It's hard to get in the corner, actually. All right, so when I put this one in, actually, this is what it was. This is the trick I wanted to use. What did I just do with that thing? Oh, there it is. This is not my trick, but I don't remember who I've seen do this. Because this was moving around a little bit on me, I don't need to worry about it. This is going to hold it for me. Isn't that nice of it? Okay, so on this piece, I'm going to do something really similar. I'm going to lay my tape down, and then I'm going to do a little bit of gluing. I don't need gobs of tape, but I do want enough just to hold this part in place. Mostly, this tape helps me ensure that everything's glued. It's holding in place and ensuring that, you know, nothing's going to move around on me. So that's what I'm doing for the tape. This is 8.5 by 11, and because this is 8 1/4, I'm going to have to do it in this direction. So I'll use 2 pieces. And just to be quick about it, I'm going to go ahead and do tape on this one too. So we're ready to rock and roll. So funny. I really didn't think I ever moved that one tool, my little hook. But y'all know what happens when you're doing like a massive clean. We literally moved everything out of this room. I have pictures. The video is finally coming. I have very, very embarrassing pictures. But for you all, I'm willing to embarrass myself. Not for anybody else. This is, I will tell you, that's the kind of video that I wish that I had Patreons, that I could just share it with my friends. Instead of putting it out there for everybody. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna pluck my tape off. You know the funniest thing? I just bought a whole nother set with another one of my little lovely hook tools, but it's not out yet. I think that's why I need multiples of everything, because I'm going to lose one of them. And if I have multiples, when I have multiples, I'm good to go. Alrighty. For this one, what's going to be super important to me is to make sure I get all of my edges. Because the glue will spread, I'm not going to be super worried about it being exactly on the edge, but pretty close. And then just gonna... This glue really does help with positioning and repositioning, and you can get it exactly where you want it to be. I'm trying to make sure I got the right corner I want it to be. Oh, everything moved. There. It's a thing of beauty. All right, first piece is on. We're going to cut that down in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and grab my second piece and get that done. I'm just trying to be do this in some form of semblance of organization. I was not born to be an organized person. Which does drive, I strive to be an organized person. But I do not believe that it was part of my DNA, even though my mother was incredibly organized. And many of my sisters are too. I didn't get that gene. I don't think it's fair. Actually, my brothers are pretty organized too. So why did it skip me? I don't know. I'm the youngest. Maybe that has something to do with it. It's like everybody else got all of these gifts. Let's see what we can do with you. Okay. That just makes this so nice and easy. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to put it back where it belongs, shockingly. And I'm going to go ahead and just do some burnishing here. Your glue, I think often looks like we think that it's completely adhered or completely dry, but it's not. You actually have a little more time with your glue than I think we often realize. It's just the way it's, I don't know how to put it. I'm not putting it very well. I'm really not. But it's just the way it goes together. All right. For this one. Okay. I am looking, that's about right. It's close enough. I'm actually trying to line the chipboard up pretty closely with. So that one's down. This one, I mean, it's just different. The way we do this one is different from some of the other ones. Not just a little different. Because God, I can't, my brain is not working, guys. Because with this particular, let me put that back, chipboard, with this particular design, that's the word I'm looking for, this design where you're leaving an open, flat spine, wrapping each piece individually is, different. You do end up, I think, with nicer, bigger leftover pieces. Okay. So when you do it like this, you're basically using kind of that, the actual design of the board itself. I'm going along this to stop it from cracking, by the way. Excuse me. That's what that really is doing. It's smoothing it down. So I'm not trying to force it. I'm just changing its own orientation. And then we're going to go this way. Same thing. And this way. Okay. That one's going to be ready. I don't know why I do short sides first. I just do. I don't think it really makes a difference. I do think it makes a difference when you start to cut and glue them. So when I start to cut and glue, I will do my long sides down first, then my short sides second. And you do those at the same time. So it probably would have been a good idea for me to do a mock-up. That one's okay. But we're good. Okay, so we have this down, and then I'm going to grab my other handy tool. It should be right in here. Let's hope it is. I have so many really awesome tools. One shake. I should have gotten it out. Where is it? Huh. It probably is in here, but right now it's not choosing to make itself known. All right. That's annoying. I have one of the corner ones, but it's hiding from me right now. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and cut. So basically, I'm just cutting like this. Again, I do want to be careful. I do not want my chipboard to shine through, but I do have ways of fixing that if it does happen. The other piece that I use, I think you'll have seen me use that before, does help with that. Okay, so when that goes down, we're good on that side, and we're good on that side. So I'm just gonna scooch that in, and I'm gonna scooch that in. Like so. And do the same thing on this side. Just scooching it in a little bit. That's better. My scooch. Okay. So I'm gonna go for this one. I really could just use glue or just use, I could just use one or the other, but I do want to make sure everything holds. I don't think that this one is going to be in danger of coming apart. It's not an album. It doesn't have the weight of the signatures. So I think I'm just going to do my tape. And there'll be other things on top of this that will aid in holding it in place. So it's not completely on its own. And give it a burnish. Somebody must be mowing their lawn. I can hear that. Can you all hear that? I keep looking over to find my other tool. It's so funny. I'm gonna get this one up. My sweet and wonderful husband has been, actually, it's been all hands on deck. Big Brit, little Brit, we have all been working on getting this room done. so I could start getting back into, you know, the normal filming again. And we are looking forward, oh, that did not burst in, to our middle son coming to live with us for a few months. Very excited about that. So we wanted to get some of the rooms a little bit redone so that we can make room for him. There we go. The other one. So very much looking forward to that. Okay, this one I am going to there, that one did not want to come. All right, with this one, I'm going to be slightly different. I don't want my tape to go too far over because then it may be on the outside of this. So I'm just going to use a combo of tape and glue. Because I just want to make sure that I get that covered. Oh, come on, that one needs to go in. There we go. Perfect. It's a little bit up. And then I'm just going to do. All right. Going to do the same thing on this side. And this one down. And then we got a whole nother one to do, and I'm probably going to fast forward that one. Because you see me do this one. So I don't want to bore you. I should pull that tape off. One down. One to go. Okay, one thing, remember when you're cutting these, don't go all the way to the corner. You've got to leave a smidge of room at that corner. If you can see. You can see what I'm doing here. I did not go all the way to the corner. Pretty darn close, but not all the way. Okay. Oh, that's better than the last one. Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and get some of this tape on. this time I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with the glue. I don't know if you all know, I mean, the reason we burnish is because burnishing allows the fibers in the paper and the fibers in the glue or your adhesive to meld, to become one. And that makes it just, you know, when they're one, they're a heck of a lot stronger. So that just is why we do that. And that's that. I'm using some different gluing techniques here. Oh, let me get that out of there. Okay. It's okay. All right, so some adhesive came over. Adhesive can be problematic. The tape can be problematic. The glue, not so much. The glue you can get off. But the tape, man, it's a pain. So what I'm trying to do is get that tape under control. This is a little art eraser from Dollar Tree. And you can see it actually is making the adhesive not adhesive anymore. There we go. That's good. And yeah, this is going to be covered, but I do want to... There we go. So with this one, you can see I used a couple different techniques here with you today. They all work about the same. So this one, I'm just retraining the paper. I'm telling it, you don't want to do that. You want to do this. This is what you want to be. You don't want to be that. You want to be this. Okay, so although this side has not been pleasant, I think, yeah, that looks pretty good. That one looks pretty good. All right, so this isn't actually not going to matter a whole lot because it's time for our spine to be added. So we're going to be adding these pieces in. And this spine piece is going to go over the top, or they're going to go top. So that's going to be the front. That's going to be the back. Doesn't really matter. All right, I'm going to be attaching. I'll line it up here. I'm going to attach these pretty close, but I don't. It can go pretty darn close. I want it to be, I actually think I want it to be right on the outside of that score line. I have to remember. Actually, it can go right up. Okay, this is where we're going to have some pressure. This is where I'm going to be laying some tape. And some glue. So again, I'm just trying to make it as strong as possible. These legal notebooks, the idea is certainly that, for me, it's that you can use them over and over and over again. Okay. Take that one off. And notice I am putting my tape on. My glue on here just to make sure that I get it where I need it to be. Gotta line them up. Close that for a minute. Okay. Okay, same deal. Probably should have mitered these just a touch more. These are Teflon scissors and they are fabulous. Okay, and again, I'm just going to be putting glue. Don't put the glue all the way here. You do not want glue there. You want it to move freely. And if you have glue there, it won't. Okay. Let me get that back up again. There we go. Okay, there's our book. It is going to open and close nicely. Now remember, one of the reasons we didn't go all the way to, we want to be just on the other side of the score that I put on here on the spine, because otherwise it's not going to open. It's not going to sit closed like this. It's going to do something funky on you. Now, the easy part-ish is just decorating it. So this is going to be one of my bee albums. And I have plenty of bee paper here. Let's see what I want to use. Pull it out. Pull out my bee paper. Oh my goodness. So much bee paper. Okay. I love this one and I really like this one. I've used them already in some of the things that I've made. I do like that one. Decorating is the hardest part sometimes. Kind of wondering if I should put that black on the inside. Love this one. Okay, so we've got that whole all right, so let me stop piling stuff like that before it all falls down. All right, I have all of these. These are very pretty. All right, I think I'm going to start with this piece. This is really heavy duty. I don't remember where I got that one. But this is really nice heavy duty paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover the inside. And I'm going to go pretty close to the top here. Wherever I want my top to be. I think that's going to be my top. There we go. And, oh, this is going to be so cute on the inside, guys. This is going to be adorable. I can't decide which side I want to be my top and which side I want to be my bottom. It doesn't. Seriously, I'm being crazy. All right, let me pull you back a little bit further so you can see more of what I'm doing. So this is how I do it. There are people who measure and they're really good at that. And that's just not the way I do it. I eyeball. And that is the way I'm going to do it. So I'm going to eyeball here, and I think that's going to be about right. And I'm going to eyeball this one. And actually, let's go a little further down on that one. I want the barest amount to poke through. And get my lovely chopper here. That's going to be my larger side. I always try to make sure that I cut the side that's going to be the longest first. Because if I don't, I could end up with just something that is askew. I don't want that. Or, I'm sorry, the longest part gives me the biggest piece of paper that I'm left up with. Okay. Got these little pieces left right now. I'm going to be using those. I have a plan. So, first, is that the right size? Ow, it's so close. Yeah, actually, that's perfect. All right. I didn't want a whole lot showing, and it won't be. All right, let me get my edges. I am terrible about going over the edges. I don't know why. I have seen some people who do this, and they are just amazing. They can do like this perfect edging work. But you know, I always say, you don't have to be perfect. And certainly not. Put that on top. Ah. You know, it's strange. One of the things I don't have is one of the bigger spreading tools. Bone. And I need it. Can't believe how much I need one. Okay. This is super important that you let the glue at here. I really have this weird thing going on right there. I'm gonna nip that. Perfect. Okay. And then for this one, I'm going to, right there. I want to be cautious that I don't pull the paper out and away from where it should be. So by using the ruler, I'm just giving it more brandishing time. And I can keep doing that gently as I bring this piece over. I'll do the same thing over here again. Until I feel like I've got it pretty good. Okay. That's not bad. I do love that. On the inside, I think that's adorable. I'm going to put that aside for a minute because we're actually really close to being done. Well, so on the inside, we still need to put a pocket and a pocket over here, and we'll have a pocket here that fits this. So there are two things I want to do with this. One, I'm going to make it into my belly band so that I can easily slide this in and out, and it's not going to show. The other thing I want to do is make sure I have enough of this to do a top piece on here. Well, that just depends, because I might do, that might be too much of that. So I'm going to look at something else. I'm going to see if I have another piece. That's too big. That I want to do in here. Oh, I can't decide. Okay. All right, guys. I have that. And that. So whichever one I do, I'll also use it for the pocket, and I will probably use some of it on the front. So as a pocket, that's so cute though. As a pocket on the inside. And all right, that's adorable. So you guys are really here with me for the whole process. I actually think I like this one better for the inside. So we're going to keep that to the inside. I need to make this into a belly band. So I don't want to go all the way to the end there. I'm going to remeasure how much space I think I want to take, because it's, well, actually, I'm not even going to do that. Here's what I'm actually going to do. Sliding it up in here, I do want to make sure I have approximately 1 inch to fold over from there, and 1 inch to fold over from here. So that's the piece that I'm going to cut. To find my little mark there. This is actually how I like to do my belly bands. Now, some people will make a pocket down below, which also works, but I feel like it doesn't always necessarily hold as well. I don't want this to be too high, the belly band part. So I'm simply going to even up the space here. And get it to go, it's not going all the way into the top. Yeah, there's room. And I'm folding it. Again, I'm kind of forcing the pad of paper to become my template. And by the way, this is super hard to see. So I'm kind of centering it because again, this has to be able to fold. So I'm moving it relatively close to those edges. Okay. That'll be about right. This will take the most wear and tear because if you're going to replace your pad of paper here, you're going to be pulling it out. So we want to make sure, I want to make sure it is in there as well, as strongly as I can. Sophia, what is it? There's nobody there. Is there a squirrel? Maybe a rabbit? Is there a rabbit? Okay, this one has to be done at the same time. So we're going to prep them both. I know that there are some people who will like put some only pull up their paper halfway. All right, this glue is going to spread. You can see that I'm not putting it up to the edge on this one because I'm pretty sure it's going to spread out on me. All right, here we go. I want to get it right. Right there. Now, you can see I pulled it out. Why did I pull it out? I want to make sure that it's properly burnished. And if any glue snuck out, I don't want the glue to adhere to my pad of paper. Also, I've got things to do with this pad of paper. All right, so we can see we've got our belly band in here, and for me, I put it high up. That's just the way I do it. Again, there are a lot of people who put like an entire pocket, like from here down, and then they slide it in. I just don't do that. So we look at that. We would have had enough to actually put the same one on top, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use this cool guy because I think I want a pocket on here and I want an expandable pocket on here. So get rid of these little pieces. We didn't need them. For our expandable pocket, I need to make sure I know exactly what the size is here. Okay, this is, I'll do it from there. So I'm not going to make it as big as everything else. I'm going to make it a 5-inch pocket. That's about the size of the pad of paper. I know that this is bigger than that, so I'm going to do a 5-inch pocket. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little math. It's too early in the morning to be doing math. But I'm going to do math. What did I do with my pen? Y'all see this, right? I just lost that pen I've been using. All right, here we go. So, for the pocket, I want my pocket to be 5 inches. But I also need to, I want it to be more accordion-like. So I'm going to make it, let me stop. How tall do I want it to be? I think it, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 inches. I want it 5 by 4. All right. Now that I have that, I know that I'm going to add a 1/2 of an inch to my 4 inches. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I also know that I want my sides to have a little bit more to them. Not too, they don't have to be too much more. So I'm adding a 1/2 inch on either side of my 5. So that's going to have to be 6 by 4.5. That gives me a 1/2 of an inch to score. I'm not going to make it full accordion. So let's try, we need this one. Let's move this guy out of the way for a minute. Bring this down. And I just said I need it to be 6 by 4.5. So normally I would start by my 4.5, but 6 inches means should be 12 by 12. So if I cut it at 6 inches, I'm going to be left over with some nice 6 by 6 pieces. So I'm going to do this one out. Oh, that's silly. This one has, to me, an orientation. So 6, and that one. Is this got up or down? I don't know. I changed my mind. Yeah. No, I didn't. 6 inches wide by 4.5. So we're just going to do the 6 inches. I've got a nice piece left over that's going to give me 2 6 by 6 pieces. And then this one's going to be 4.5. Losing my silly mind. And there we go. Now, I'm going to do a little scoring. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on both sides. Actually, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch all the way around. This is just the way I like to do it. I feel like when I go across and do this and then measure out from here, that it just doesn't always work the way I think it's going to. This one sure will. So that one would have. I guess I do it because when you get into like tiny numbers, I don't know. I do it because I do it. Let's just say there's no rhyme or reason. I just do it because I do it. And here we go. Side by side. Doing it this way instead of just cutting a straight up pocket and gluing the sides means that there'll be a little bit of a give on the pocket. So you'll be able to put more in it, I guess. Now, doesn't feel right. I'll do it like this. I'm taking this guy and I'm going to do a wee snip there. And a wee snip there. And that gives me Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put a dab of glue on these two corners and fold it over. Because I don't want my pocket to be like this. If my pocket is like this when I slide something in, then it's going to catch on that. But if I do it like this, it'll be, these will help guide it. It'll go straight down. But that's literally just a dab. Come on. And my glue isn't working. Every once in a while. There we go. Don't start coming out like that. Now suddenly it's coming out like crazy. Dab there. And a dab there. See, I wasn't kidding about the dab. Get my little towel over here. Now, pocket is ready. I'm going to attach it like right about there. You can see a little bit of the honeycomb around it. Get some glue on here. And I really wanted to have some of these, but most of mine that were in my stock haven't been sold. So again, this is just my way of trying to make sure that it doesn't adhere to itself. And the other thing you can do is just push this in slightly, and that'll ensure that you have a little bit extra of pockety going on there. So the inside's almost done. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of this piece, and I am going to change the top of this. Now, of course, that's only going to work for the first one. After that, if somebody buys one, they're going to be stuck with just the regular old cover. Okay. And let's see how much of that we need. That's a full inch. There's probably a 1/4 inch here. I'm going to just say we only need about 2 inches of this. I'm being silly. I'll do the 2 inches this way. I won't lose as much. Then I'll just have to This is in a space where it's catching, so I'll have to rethink. I'm learning. We're getting there. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off 2 inches here. That was the length, right? There we go. I have to think about it. Sometimes you got to think these things through. All right, there's my 2 inches so that I keep as much of that as possible. And there is the end of my space. Let's see if I got that right. Got a cute little piece left over. How close did I get it? Oh man, I need like a sliver. I mean, literally. Let's see if we did it. Or if I overshot. Nope. Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. I have to move this. I'm going to move that around for a second so I can put that guy in where he won't knock stuff over again. this really quickly. Super close. Just whatever I can get my hands on, you know. That's going to go over a little too far. I'm going to have to trim that. I'll do it when I pull the tape off. Okay. This is just what I do. Doing this top part. I'm actually going to trim that down a little bit before I do. Before we go too far. Okay. I'll use glue on the back, but on this section, I really want this to hold. Because I think it's just really a nice aspect of doing these. So people, when they get them, they're not getting just like any old legal pad in there. You're getting something special. It's a great gift. Really does work out to be a great gift. Okay. So now here's one. This one's going to be a little different. I'm not pulling the whole thing off. I'm only going to pull the top part off. A little different for me. All right. I am going to add a little bit of glue here. I just don't want it to move. It's not the right thing to say. I want it to move if I want it to move. Does that make sense? Let me get it exactly where I think it should be. Here we go. There you go. All right, now that I've got it that far, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it the same way I would do one thing that the tape also does for you, it holds it in place so the glue can fully dry. That's a pretty important aspect. Now, I do know people who will put extra embellishments on top of here. I'm not going to do that because I don't think it helps. I think that things don't close properly when I do that. All right. This is what we've got so far. We got to get this guy back in here. Come on. You know you fit. You were the one who was in there to begin with. All right. That's the inside of this gorgeous little notebook. I do love this one. Now, I got to do the outside. So this is going to be the end of this first video. I'm going to do a second video for you all because we're already an hour and a half in. So this will be the first half, and we'll do the outside of it in the next video. So I hope you tune back in for the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me today to do this one. I'll see y'all later. Cheers.